And then we get to the main event, a fatal 4-way elimination match to crown the new WWE Universal Champion. Not the first WWE Universal Champion, as Stephanie McMahon mistakenly said, but the second WWE Universal Champion. The match consisted of Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Big Cass, and Seth Rollins. Even disregarding the finish for 5 seconds, I thought the match itself was just freaking great. One of the better Raw matches in some time. I always feel like these number one contender matches on Raw are awesome. Like, we had a similar 4-way, I think the night after WrestleMania, with, I believe, Owens, AJ, Cesaro, and Jericho, and that was a great match. This match was no exception. Big Cass held his own here. No one really wanted to see him win the World Championship, nor should he have. It is way too early. I wouldn't put the world title on him, period, just because I don't think he's World Championship material. Maybe he will be years down the line. I'm not exactly sure. But for right now, he's not. But that being said, he did hold his own here very well. Had a good showing before getting eliminated by Kevin Owens via a frog splash from the top rope, or a bullfrog splash, as Kevin Owens calls it. So then it comes down to Owens, Rollins, and Reigns, some great near falls. And again, I had my money on Rollins or Reigns winning, not because I wanted them to win, but just because they seem like, the safe choices or the predictable choices. And WWE ultimately did not take the predictable path for once, which was very refreshing and amazingly great. So here's what they did. So they have Rollins and Reigns going at it on the outside. KO's on the outside too, somewhere else. But Reigns is beating up on Seth Rollins. I think spears him on the outside. And then out comes Triple H, who we have not seen other than that 2-second appearance after one of the Cruiserweight Classic matches with Cedric Alexander and Kota Ibushi, which was not really Triple H, but more so Paul Levesque. This is the first time that we've seen Triple H in storyline, keyword there, in storyline, since WrestleMania 32, when he got beat by Roman Reigns. So, a grand return by the game on Monday Night Raw, helping Seth Rollins eliminate Roman Reigns with the pedigree, then looking to set up KO for the same thing before turning on Seth Rollins, hitting him with a pedigree, laying him out, and then helping KO pick up the victory and become the new WWE Universal Champion. So a lot going on here. So Triple H and Seth Rollins are no longer a thing. KO is the new world champion. And thirdly, Roman Reigns is not, which I think is even better. Or Big Cass, which is also good too. But again, I really thought they would take the predictable path here and putting the championship on either Rollins or Reigns, and I'm very happy they didn't do it. And they're trying something new. Owens has been long overdue. I mean, I hate to say long overdue just because he's been here for only a little over a year and a half at this point. But he has just been killing it since he showed up a year and a half ago. The matches with Cena, the matches with Cesaro, Dean Ambrose, Sami Zayn, they've all been amazing. And I'm really glad they're finally giving this guy something fresh, something new to do, and giving him the reins to run Raw as the new Universal Champion. And I feel like there's no one better for that role right now than him. Now, I know there's that, not the gripe, but that fear among fans right now. Some fans, not a lot of fans, but some fans, that Triple H will ultimately overshadow Owens as champion, which I hope is not the case. But I wouldn't put it past the company because we've seen it before. He overshadowed Orton as champion when he held the belt, a part of the Authority years ago. We saw it when Seth Rollins was champion. Not, as much as Orton, but still to an extent. You had the Authority hanging over Rollins his entire reign as world champion. So I hope the same thing is not said for Kevin Owens. I don't really want an Authority 2.0 like a full-on faction, but I am fine with Triple H and Kevin Owens as an alliance. And if they can kind of bring up the NXT roots in saying that Triple H has always been high on Kevin Owens, but he thought that Seth Rollins was the future, and he was, but now he's the past, and KO is the future. I think they could have, the foundation for an amazing, phenomenal feud here between these two, between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, as well as building to the bigger picture between Seth Rollins and Triple H way down the line. And I've said this a couple times in the last few days, but I really don't think that people are... I mean, as great as it is that KO is champion, it's an amazing moment, but I really don't think people realize how big of a moment it is that Rollins and Triple H, that Triple H just turned on Seth Rollins. This has, roots dating back to 2.5 years ago when Triple H first joined up with Seth Rollins and they first formed the Authority, or had him join the Authority, whatever. This has roots dating back years, people, like a long-ass time. And even before that, Seth Rollins was semi a part of the Authority when it first started about 3 years ago. So these guys have a plenty of history together. So I think it should be treated as a big deal that Triple H and Seth Rollins are no longer a unit. And it's also the first time that we've seen them on TV together, on TV, like in WWE programming and storylines anyway, since Rollins got hurt about a year and a half ago. And even at that point, even when Rollins got hurt, he wasn't really associating himself with the Authority at that point anyway. When he had to vacate the belt, I don't think he was on Raw. I'm pretty sure he just kind of gave up the championship and he didn't show up for Raw that week because they were in England. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. But even before that, they really weren't doing much with Rollins and Triple H. They were already building to a match at WrestleMania anyway, from what it looked like. It seemed to me that the main event of WrestleMania all along was going to be Roman Reigns versus Triple H. But the seeds of dissension were planted between Seth Rollins and Triple H, dating back, throughout the entirety of the summer of 2015, and that we're finally getting it. So I'm anxious to see where this goes next. I thought it was a great angle, an amazing swerve. For once, WWE did something that no one was really expecting. Some people might have thought that KO was going to win the championship, but no one thought that Triple H would return to help him win said championship. So, good shit. I thought this was a great, ending to Raw, one of the best endings in a while. And I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. Seth Rollins as a babyface is also long overdue. KO as world champion is long overdue. I'm not going to say that Triple H being back is long overdue, but I'm not a huge Triple H being on TV all the time kind of guy. But if they are using him effectively and putting over Kevin Owens, or giving the rub to Kevin Owens, and building that bigger match between Triple H and Seth at WrestleMania 33, then I'm all for it.